Ladies, hello. Welcome back to our channel, and I hope you guys are fine, work-wise, family-wise, and your sweet selves. I am good over here, and I'm happy to be here. So, what are we going to be talking about today? So, today we're going to be talking about the art of journaling. Yes, ladies, we are starting the new year. I want to love more this year. I want to enjoy my time more this year. I want to have good experiences more this year. I want to love myself more. I want to take care of myself more. I just want to have a good time more this year. All the good things that I like, all the good things that the universe does for me. I want more of it. I don't want my life to be disturbed. Yes. But let's not be too big for ourselves. Life does happen. Life throws storms at us every day in our daily challenges, and that can be a distraction that can derail us from enjoying our lives, from it can take me away from my intentions, because really this year I just want to focus on myself. I want to love, choose myself more, make more decisions for self. But because of the life, because of the challenges that we face every day, we can lose focus. You can lose focus, and then by the end of the year, you look at yourself and look back and ask yourself, what happened? How come I didn't get to do all the things that I planned to do? Where did my focus go? Where did my attention go? Then you realize that you focused on the unwanted, the things that you never planned for. You focused on them, you wasted time on them, you were worrying, you were anxious about the future, you know, all the things you worried about, what people are saying about you, you're worried about opinions, you're worried about the projects that you're not, that you're embarking on, and maybe they are not going the way you want, you are not traveling as much as you wanted, because of the obstructions, because of the challenges that we face. So today we're going to talk about journaling, because journaling for me, it it keeps me focused by putting down all the things that I don't want, all the things that have a potential of obstructing, potential of derailing me, potential of putting me away from my focus. I put them on paper. All the distractions that come every day, I put them on paper so that I keep my focus on the wanted. I keep my attention on the things that I want rather than focusing on the things that I don't want. So that's what journaling does for me, ladies. Every day, I told you, we are human beings, we have challenges. I can observe someone and I'm not happy about what they are doing, you see, but because I don't want a confrontation, because I don't want conflicts, because that's one of my goals this year. Less confrontations, less conflicts, but more loving, more harmony, more peace. You see, so by journaling, I keep my focus, I keep my attention on the things that I want. Because if I don't do that, then I'm gonna lose track and start focusing on confrontation and start focusing on the conflict, and then that will change, my course for the entire year. Right. So today we're going to be talking about journaling. But before we dive into that, I wanted to show you my stack of journals. I think you can see them. I have to lift them up so that you can see all of them. Here, I think this is like 2 or 3 years of journaling. Ladies, I don't keep unwanted thoughts in my head. It's a decision that I did. I no longer wanted to keep things that I don't want in my head. There is no space. I love myself so much that I would never want to have crazy thoughts about other people in my head. There's no space for other people in my head. No, it's none of my business. There's no space for worry in my head. It's none of my business, too. There's no space for overthinking. There's no space for judgments. There's no space for conflicts. There's no space for mental dialogues that are negative in my head. The only thing that I want in my head is to think about things that I want, things that are in alignment. My thoughts, are they in alignment? I have to be aware of my thoughts. Are they in alignment with my goal? If I choose self love, whatever I'm thinking, whatever I'm doing, is it in alignment with self love? But if I focus on the unwanted, if I focus on the things that are the challenges that are coming to me, then that means I will not be loving myself this year. Okay, so I've talked too much about that. Let's talk about journaling. So, ladies, if you're not in the habit of journaling, I'm encouraging you to do that, because this will help you focus on the things that you want. Journaling will help you focus on your intentions, whatever goals that you plan to achieve by the end of the year. Journaling will help you, right? If your plan, ladies, like if your plan is like mine, to focus, to have more love, more joy, more peace, more clarity, more harmony, I don't know, healthy, I don't know, all the good things. I want to give more, I want to receive more. I want to have more connections with people, but from a self-love journey. I want people who build me, I want people who understand me, and I want people who encourage me, who lift me up. So this is some of my goals this year. So that means any challenges that I face every day, I have to interrogate that challenge and ask whether facing that challenge or focusing on that challenge guides me towards my intentions. Right. Ladies, can you imagine a situation where somebody makes you angry, but you are fearful of them? You are scared of speaking up. You don't want a confrontation. You don't want a conflict with that person, and you keep your emotions, you keep whatever you want to say, you keep it inside. The person repeats the thing, you still keep inside, and then it goes on for a week, for 2 weeks. And one day, you tell yourself that I've just had it. I've had enough, and I'm just going to say whatever. The anger that comes out on that day, on that last day, ladies, I know you erupt, you burst, you say everything that you have been wanting to say to that person. It comes out and you say more things, I know we've been through that. Everyone, I've done that before. And I've kept quiet, thinking the other person will stop, or thinking the other person will change, but they don't. And then in the end, I get so worked up, I get so angry that I just burst out in anger and say a lot of things that I would even regret saying in future. So, ladies, that's what happens when we are worried, and then you don't express the worry. That's what happens when we are anxious about things that are not okay. That's what happens when we are in depression, when we are disappointed about things, or when we feel guilt or feel um, some pain, and we overthink and we keep it in our head, especially when we don't have answers, especially when we don't know what's going on. That's what happens. It's like the anger that you keep and you can't express it to somebody else or communicate, and then one day it bursts, you erupt. That's what happens in your head when you overthink and you keep everything there and you don't express them. Whatever worry you don't communicate, or you don't share, or you don't speak about, it stays in your head and it takes the energy from your body. Wherever the same energy that you use to worry, the same energy that you use to overthink, is the same energy that your body needs to work. You see? So when it erupts, it affects your body. And then we get diseases, we get whatever. That's what happens when you don't communicate the worry, when you don't communicate the anger, when you don't communicate the stress. It feeds off the energy, it feeds off your body, and your body reacts. So that's why they say stress causes us some diseases, whatever. It's because it needs to be expressed, it needs to be shared. The worry needs to be communicated somehow, right? But we know, ladies, we don't trust one another. If I tell you my problems, There's a fear that you might tell somebody else and you might tell somebody else. There is no confidentiality. We don't trust each other. So the best way that I found, ladies, to express the emotions that you hold inside, to express your problem, is to journal, because these things want to be communicated. As much as you feel like, you want to speak, you want to hear your voice, that's exactly how your worries and your anxiety are as well. They need to be communicated. You need to share them. You need to say, you need to express them out, so that you can make sense of what the problem is about, so that you release that energy, you release that anger by putting it down, so that you can actually hear yourself. Because when you tell somebody your problem, you can actually hear yourself, whether you're exaggerating or whether you are blaming someone. When you say something, when you express yourself, you actually make sense of that thing, because you're hearing yourself. There's a sort of clarity that comes, when you speak, when you communicate. So our worries, our problems, they need to be communicated. But because we don't trust people around us, journaling is a way that you can communicate, that you can share, that you can express your worries. The good thing about journaling, ladies, is when you put your thoughts down, you make space in your head for new ideas. When you put your thoughts down on paper, you make space in your head for solutions. Because once you are writing it down, you are no longer in the worrying space, but you're expressing, you're putting down the words on paper. So you can actually see what's happening. You can list down your problems, see whether you are in control of the things, or see whether you are not in control of the thing. If it's something that you're in control of, then you think of a plan. What am I going to do? What are my options? How can I reframe this? You understand? So that it helps me. When it's something that is not within your control, when it's not your task, then you allow it. You accept it as a lesson in disguise. You might not know the lesson on the day. You might not know the purpose of that challenge on the day, but you have to accept it. You can't fight reality if it's not something that is within your control. You can't change circumstances. You understand? So when you put these things down, it releases the pressure. The energy is now put to good use, because you're no longer worrying. It's now on paper. Ladies, I treat journaling, especially of challenges, as studying. When you're studying something, and you're studying something new, you don't know the topic, you know. But when you start reading a textbook about it, you are researching, you are learning more about it, you're finding out more information about the topic, and then you're deciding whether it's relevant or it's not relevant, or whatever course. You map the way forward. When you study, you learn new things. That's exactly how I treat challenges. And when I journal, I list down exactly what's going on. I don't exaggerate. I don't make assumptions. I don't make narratives that are not there, because it's personal. You are honest with yourself in your journaling, because this is your life. So when you put it down, you can study it. As you know, you can research about it. You can study it as a topic. What's going on? Why am I feeling like this? Hmm? What am I going to do about this? How come this challenge is coming today? Now, what can I do about it? What is this? Is this telling me? Sometimes, sometimes you don't even need to ask those questions. Maybe those questions are not even coming to you. Sometimes you just want to brain dump. You just want to brain dump, meaning your thoughts are too much. They're just too much in your head, and you just want to put them on paper somewhere, so that you relieve yourself of that pressure, because there's too much in your head. So journaling is pressure release. It's pressure, whatever is boiling, whatever is swirling in your head, you can release it on paper, and you can feel the pressure subsiding just by putting it down. This is what happened, and I didn't like it. It's already on paper, and keep it there. Because if you keep something in your head that you don't have answers to, remember, when we don't have answers to something, we make narratives, we make assumptions, and those assumptions, they fuel us up. They fuel the anger, they fuel the emotions, and we go and react based on our assumptions. But when you put something down, you can tell, just you can be honest with yourself. Am I making assumptions? Am I wrong? Am I right? And then what am I going to do about it? If you have options, yes, option one, option two, option three. But if you don't have any options, then that means that's your reality. You have to adjust and fit in that into that reality. So that's what journaling does for me, ladies. You shift from a point of worry to a point of solution making, because when you start to put things down, you are no longer worrying, but you are in a solution. I'm trying to solve this. I'm trying to see what's going on here. That's the space you're in when you journal. So I keep my thoughts here, because all that I want to keep, I keep my bad thoughts in my journal, because all that I want to keep in my head are the thoughts that are aligned with my goals, thoughts that are aligned with inner peace, thoughts that are aligned with connection and love and self expression, and enjoying the world around me. What am I going to do today that's going to um, empower me? What am I going to do today that's going to make me a better decision maker? How am I going to love myself? How am I going to show up in this experience today? Those are the thoughts that I prefer having, rather than keeping the thoughts of, oh, why did they say about me today? Why did they talk about me? I didn't like their opinion. How come they haven't washed the dishes? How come they haven't control? I don't want, if I want to control something, put it on paper and put the control down and find out how you're going to express that control. Whether you're in control or you're being controlled, I don't know. Put it on paper, keep it in the book. Let's not write tragic books or tragedies in our head. Books are meant, or stories are meant to be shared. Stories are meant to be communicated and talked about, but not to be kept here. Because when we have mental conversations, they keep recurring and recurring and recurring, and they cost us, they cost our health. Mental conversations, only allow yourself. That's how people who love themselves do. That's what they do. If I'm having a mental conversation, I'm planning on how I'm choosing myself. I'm planning on my growth. I'm planning on my development. I'm planning on my empowerment. But I don't keep the energy. I don't keep things that deplete my energy. I don't keep things that cost me, but I keep things that build me. So anything that you feel is costing you, put it on paper. Putting on paper and figure it out there and keep it there. Because I remember 2 weeks ago, I was talking to a friend. She called me. She said, Alota, my world is breaking down. I don't even know what to do. Then I said, let's get a pen and paper and write it down. Let's see. Let's break it down and see what's actually happening. Her world was breaking down. That's how she saw her problems. But then when we listed it down in a journal, it was a problem with the boss. It was a problem with she was worried about a child who had just started preschool, that maybe he wasn't coping, and her salary, she wasn't happy with her salary, and she wasn't happy with her weight. Four things. And then I asked her, what else? She said, nothing. Those are my problems. Then she started laughing, because when she started the conversation, it was, my whole world is broken down. Everything is bad. Everything is just going wrong in my life. But when she put it down, exactly what was bothering her, it was four items which she can control. The first, with her boss, she can go and communicate her worries, her concerns. The second one, with a child, she has to make sure that she gets a full report from the teachers every day. The third one, about the salary, she has to start working on a CV so that she looks for a job. Then the other one, about weight, then she has to decide whether she needs to eat healthy or exercise or whatever she does. Four things. So when she put it down, then she mapped out a plan what she's going to do about each, and that was it. But according to her, this was her entire world. And that blocked her from enjoying her family. That blocked her from having nice conversations, or even going out, or just enjoying her surviving, just her life and other experiences, because she thought her life was everything was broken down. Yet when she actually looked and listed whatever all her problems, it was just four things which she could manage. So that's what journaling does, because your head sometimes is used to worrying. Your head is used to, to anxiety and stress. But as a person who chooses to love themselves, make a decision that from today onwards, anything that is not in alignment with what I want to achieve by the end of the year is going to stay here. I'm not going to write a tragedy here in my head, but I'm going to write love stories. I'm going to write romantic stories. I'm going to write adventures. I'm going to write things empowering, stories that are good for me, that make me focus on the things that I want. Anything that I feel takes me out of focus or takes my attention, it stays here and I'll figure it out as a lesson, as a I will research and see my options on how I'm going to tackle it, but I'll keep it in my journal. So I hope you guys will go and grab journals that are beautiful, pink ones, you know, nice pens. Start journaling and write your thoughts down. Brain dump. Keep space for good things here. Keep space for yourself. Keep space because that's for good thoughts. That's how ideas will never come into your head when it's full of something. Make space. It's either you are full of stress or full of love. Which side are you choosing? Thank you so much for listening, ladies. Have a beautiful week ahead. Thank you and goodbye.